because it's been quiet, but the 118, your plans taking you east or westbound side can be a little bit crowded. Now, east is slow as you approach that 5 freeway, so it's kind of out of our view here, but along the westbound side, right at Tampa Avenue, we do have reports of a crash, and that one does look like it's going to slow everybody down just a little bit. Now, moving it over to something we have not seen in a while, but it does look like on this stretch of the 91 eastbound side, right at about Lakeview Avenue, they're going with a motorcycle crash that's now sitting in lanes, so you have to watch your step here. There was somewhere where there was debris in lanes. I'll have to double check because it may be gone by now. But overall, conditions are looking decent in some of these freeways. You see it, the 57 slow and go, the 91 not horrible. Sometimes it's solid red lights, right? But we'll watch the situation that is developing for that eastbound commute. Keep track of it all. I'll send it over to you guys.
U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is urging Congress to reach a deal on a spending plan to reopen the federal government. The FAA has ordered cuts in flights nationwide to ease the strain on air traffic control towers, which are dealing with staffing issues due to the government shutdown. KTLA's Eric Spillman live at LAX with more. Eric, good morning.
Morning, Frank. We're inside Terminal 1, which is the home to Southwest and JetBlue Airlines, and trying to gauge what the impact of these flight reductions are here on these two airlines. And we're taking a look at the departure board. Here we're seeing some cancellations this morning. Several cancellations for JetBlue and for Southwest. We're seeing flights to Chicago canceled. Flights to Las Vegas canceled, flights to Phoenix canceled this morning. And also we just learned that in San Francisco there's now a ground stop that was just imposed there due to staffing shortages. At this point, we're not seeing the flights, the Southwest flights affected by that, but I can guarantee you that if things have come to a halt on the tarmac up in San Francisco, those flights that you see on the board there, they're not going to go. Nationwide, something like 1,000 flights have been canceled so far, more than 50 canceled here at LAX, all because of the government shutdown. The government basically telling the airlines that you need to reduce the number of planes in the sky by 10%. This affects 40 major airports, all the biggest ones, including LAX, San Francisco, Newark, JFK, and airports in Dallas, Atlanta, Chicago, and Washington. DC. It's happening gradually. Starting today, 4% of the flights are being scratched. That number will gradually increase to 10% by next Friday. Why is this happening? Well, there's a shortage of air traffic controllers. You know, that's been a problem for a long time, but the shutdown has made things a whole lot worse. They're not getting paychecks, so many of them are calling in sick or taking side jobs to make cash. Trump administration officials say in order to keep the skies safe, the airlines have to reduce air traffic, and that means cutting flights. Democrats in Washington say the Trump administration is trying to pressure them to end the shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy pushed back on that claim during an interview on CBS this morning.
If I have people who want to second guess what we're doing, why we're doing it, I've done all I can to minimize disruption in the airspace. I'm trying to get people where they want to go and get them there safely. If people want to question us, I would throw it back at them, open up the government. You know, we have to take unprecedented action is because we are in an unprecedented situation with a shutdown.
All right, how are passengers dealing with all this? Well, let's talk to a few of them. This couple here, you're headed to Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
And your flight today, is it going or what?
It's going on time at this point.
Are you concerned about the trip home?
No, not now, but obviously if I was traveling later in the week.
All right. I mean, this type of disruption, this thing that's going on, does it make you angry?
Yes, very.
Tell me about that.
I'm not happy. Like, we're supposed to fly to New York November 19th. Hopefully it'll all be done and over, and there won't be a shutdown.
Do you have a backup plan if there's an issue?
Not right now.
Stay in Florida.
Again, not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Well, I hope you get there okay, and more importantly, I hope you get home.
Yes, thank you. Well,
Thanks a lot.
we have a place in Florida, so the worst we'll do is golf more.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not so terrible.
Right.
Enjoy your trip. Thank you so much. All right, that's the best attitude to have, to just kind of go and keep your fingers crossed, and you have to stay a few extra days wherever you're headed to. That might be okay. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Eric, we thank you for that from LAX this morning. NTSB Investigators say they have extracted data from the black boxes they recovered from the deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky. They'll now examine the data to determine what caused the catch fire Tuesday shortly after takeoff. This as new data and video showing the plane plummeting to the ground before erupting in a massive ball of flames. Investigators say the left side of the plane caught fire, then soon after the left engine detached. The plane into buildings near Louisville Airport. 3 crew members on board were among the 13 people killed. 9 people remain unaccounted for. Authorities still trying to identify each of the victims. NTSB officials say they are reviewing the plane's maintenance records.
Trial date has been set for the man accused of starting the fire that eventually led to the Palisades wildfire. Jonathan Rinderneck, accused of setting a fire on New Year's Day. Prosecutors say that fire continued to smolder after firefighters put it out, and then strong winds a week later restarted it. The 29-year-old former Uber driver pleaded not guilty to federal charges last month. The trial has been set for April 21st, but he will argue for a pre-trial release in a hearing later this month.
Surf is up right now at beaches across the region. Ktladt expected to produce sets over 6 feet at some breaks. KTLA's Omar Lewis live now in Huntington with the latest on that. Omar, good morning.
Good morning, Jess. Yeah, there are some brave surfers out here chasing those long rides as those big sets of waves move in here. Want to show you a live look behind us here. There are fewer surfers out here than you would normally see, and that is because the National Weather Service has a high surf advisory in effect. Officials warning of those dangerous rip currents, sneaker waves, and minor flooding in our coastal communities this morning. Big sets of waves here at Huntington Beach today are turning the pier and the sand into front row seats for those spectators as the west-northwest swell is driving surf in the 3 to 7 foot range along Ventura, Malibu, LA County, and Orange County coasts, with larger sets and even bigger breaks to the north. The National Weather Service says today's high tide around 7 feet is happening beginning now at 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. That will be the main trouble spot as the high surf and king tides combine to send water over the sand and into those vulnerable areas. Beach hazard and high surf statements run through this afternoon for LA and Orange County beaches and through early Saturday for Ventura County. We spoke to surfers out here braving those waves this morning. Here's what they had to say about the elevated surf levels.
I mean, there's a lot more size this morning. Yeah, and I got out early because I wanted to beat the tide. The tide rose this morning. I have some friends that I don't think they'd make it today. But I'd be careful. Yeah, on a day like this. Yeah. That's pretty bad. You end up down the beach, probably in Newport.
Overnight in Seal Beach, south of the pier there, high water was already making a mess. Around 10 p.m., city maintenance crews were called out for flooding in beachfront areas. Mud and water spread across the sand and nearby paths. Crews using pumps to send water back to the ocean and work through the night to get ready for this morning's roughly 9:20 high tide there. Seal Beach has begun its building its winter sand berms and stocking sandbag stations near the beach and fire station number 44, all part of a push to stay ahead of more minor flooding as today's king tide and elevated surf move in.
This is humbling just watching it, so not anymore. No, I'm perfectly fine being a spectator today. It's a rough day. You can pretty evident the fact that there's no one out there. But typically on a morning like this, even with past weather, there's 40 or 50 guys north of the pier, south of the pier.
And out here live this morning, there are many lifeguards out here, some of them even roaming on the pier, riding up and down. Forecasters and lifeguards urging people to stay off rocks and jetties, watch for those strong rip currents, and stick near the staffed lifeguard towers. The main warning out here is that these waves are meant for those experienced surfers, so if that's not you, just be a spectator like the rest of us out here enjoying this beautiful view as well. So that is the latest for now here live from Huntington Beach. Jess, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Omar, thank you for that. Is that burn off going to happen at some point? So
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you look at the shot from LAX, it is already clear. And, yeah, that burn off is going to be happening. It's going to be happening even faster over the weekend as we're going to get some very hot temperatures well above normal. Right now, 59 downtown. Relative humidity, 90%. Winds are at 3 miles per hour. And here it is, coastal flood advisory, surf advisory, marine statement, and beach hazard statement. It basically all the way up and down the coast. In other words, the big waves are happening, and you could get some flooding even into the parking lots because of these big-time waves. Our future winds, we've got some stronger winds happening today around 2 o'clock right there and through Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and along the 5. Winds were pretty gusty in the valley this morning, and I'm pretty sure they were gusty in a lot of other areas, but it's very localized. You could be in one area, you go, what winds? And then you could all of a sudden drive a couple of miles and you could hit the windy areas. Las Vegas, 80, Laughlin, 88, Blythe, 88 degrees. Yesterday finally out of the 100-degree mark, but that doesn't mean they might not hit 100 over the weekend. 7-day outlook, 79, Ventura County, inland, 80, all the way from 79 all the way up to 92 degrees, and then it drops off all the way on Thursday down to 68 degrees, and looks